What is going on today? Welcome to DeFi Degen podcast number 7. I'm here with
ID Crypto, what's going on?
what is up today. We have a very exciting podcast for you. We're going to be talking about the news, obviously. DeFi 2.0. What is it? Applications that are DeFi 2.0, along with why exactly it is a paradigm shift, along where's the market going. Let me pull it up for you. Let's see.
Yep,
All
there
right,
we go.
there we go. Now we're talking here. So where's the market going? And then Dope War, Metaverse, the play to earn GTA kind of game that's coming out here shortly. I actually got that airdrop. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyways, let's first just take a look at the market and see where things are heading. It's not looking too bad this morning. A lot better than the other day, the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, if I don't know about you guys, but I bet you a lot of people convinced their mom, their dads, their uncle, their aunts, their cousins to buy crypto on Thanksgiving during the Thanksgiving dinner. As you can see, it pumped from 42 to 45, and then it crashed 10%. And then it crashed 10% the morning after. And I'm sure some moms, some dads sold at the bottom, and now we're going back up. So they got introduced to the market real quick, and I bet you a lot of them ended up weak handing it. But that's okay. To each their own. Anything you wanted to add this morning about the market, ID or Ian?
Yeah, no, I mean, we with the recent correction, I think
Got the heater going, bro. You got the heater going. That's all right.
No, I was just gonna say later on in the newsletter, I have a chart basically of the total DeFi market cap, and I think it really puts things into perspective. Like this correction, it didn't feel good, but it wasn't that meaningful, and I still think we're gonna have a nice bull market to end the year and even into early 2022.
So you believe in the lengthening cycles then? The lengthening cycles?
I'm not even sure what that is.
So every cycle has been lengthening, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
100%. To the point where this might not even have a correction the size of the other corrections that
for the
we've had.
bear markets. For the bear
Yeah,
market. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with the lengthening cycle theory. That's kind of where my mind's at. I think the price action over the next month is very critical to see where the price is going. If, for example, if we consolidate over the next month, it's going to kind of lead us into the lengthening cycle theory. If we go parabolic and we test all-time highs, we might just see a parabolic run here shortly. And if we go down and break down, we might just be entering the bear market. That's kind of where my mindset is at currently, but we will see. We'll discuss it here in a second more so. But any other cryptos you want to bring up? We got top movers here in a second, so we'll get into it. Any other thing?
No, I'm all set.
All right, cool deal. Let's jump right into it with some news. So over 1 million, if we go to etherchain burn, etherchain.org, what is that? What is that? Not 1.5, 1.05 million Ethereum burned, $4.5 billion. I mean, inflation went down 75% with Ethereum. So we hit a big milestone of 1 million Ether burned since EIP 1559. It's absolutely nuts, guys. So I think people underestimate the seller exhaustion. When inflation decreases by 80%, it's just a matter of time before we go parabolic. And as you can see with this graph right here, I mean, seller exhaustion is at an all-time high directly because of the decrease in inflation, right? I mean, that's really the consequences of EIP 1559 right there. And soon enough, we'll see the price action for the seller exhaustion, right? So we will see. Only time will tell. ETH to 10K, I think, relatively soon. And now we got some drama Bahama with Celsius CFO. He got arrested in Israel this past month from his 2018 ICO. He was on a team with a sketchy ICO. He raised a lot of money through Chinese investors, and now the Chinese investors are after his ass along with along. That's one life lesson, Ian. Let's not get funds from Chinese investors.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because they'll do some shady stuff. But anyways, yeah, so he's arrested. Basically, and then Celsius said, we were recently made aware of a police investigation in Israel involving an employee. So Ian pointed out earlier when we were reading through this. So they call their CFO an employee, right? So that's kind of strange. Although he is, but that's kind of like degrading him to a low, like he's the CFO.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like, no, it was just an employee. Like,
yeah, it's just an employee. He's the CFO. I mean, for me, I definitely think birds of a feather flock together. He has a history of being a little sketchy. Celsius is a little sketchy with Tether. Tether's always been sketchy. I mean, we will see what will happen. But once again, I do think centralized exchanges and centralized earn or lending borrowing protocol or applications are as risky, if not riskier, than say DeFi, say Aave, say Compound, say Olympus DAO or whatnot. So I do think centralized exchanges are looked at as significantly safer than DeFi, but I don't believe that. But only time will tell. You have any thoughts on that? ID
I had a question. Do they have like a credit card, Celsius?
Celsius? I don't know. We can look that
I
up.
think I saw something about that, and I think they sponsor a bunch of influencers too.
I bet you they do. Yeah, for sure. Celsius, they got a wait list. So we will see. We will see. I mean, the tether, like the tether FUD and the tether, what is it? Drama, controversy, or like how they're not back significantly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I definitely feel one day there will be a reckoning, and we will see. We will see what will happen. But an Olympus DAO fork, we've been talking about Olympus DAO forks nonstop for forever now. We talked about Rome DAO a while ago, and the whitelist for the Rome DAO was $25. Now it's around $1,500 per token. Boom, boom, boom. That was huge.
Yeah, I think the whitelist is worth over 100K now.
Yeah, so you got $1,000 in the whitelist. It would be over 100K now. So that's good. That's called a W. So, anyways, but I did not get in it, so it's an L for me. I'll take an L. I take an L.
I mean, even just to think about that, if you whitelisted in 100 projects and one of them was Rome DAO and all the others rugged, you'd be even.
That's right. If you put in 1,000 each, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but now we're talking about another Olympus DAO fork on Arbitrum, and that is Omicron, and that is the COVID variant. So I think it was definitely a coincidence, because it was out prior to the announcement of the new variant. Holy crap!
Really?
It's down this
Oh
morning.
my gosh, that's hilarious,
bro. Look at that, dude. Yo, don't touch it.
I thought it was created because of the variant. I didn't know it actually was existed before that.
Well, it was created on early this month, so unless they were like predicting that, I mean, I don't know. But look at this. Look at that chart. Do you see that chart? Down from it was at 600 and then went to 161. Although it is a rebasing token, so it probably just went through a rebase, but still.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then fully diluted 370 million. So it has a pretty large market cap right now, guys. I probably would stay away from it. I thought it was funny and was worthy of putting it in the little newsletter this week. But yeah, so a lot of people said this was a sign of a bubble, but I definitely think it's just a perfect combination of trendy projects and kind of an accidental meme Olympus DAO fork. I think that's kind of what it is. But we will see. We will see what comes from it. Next, let's check out some biggest gainers, and I want to point out People, which is the Constitution DAO token, and that is not Constitution. I guess we got to fix that. I don't know why that didn't work, but
yeah, we'll fix that.
But basically, Constitution DAO pumped it. I mean, massively after they did not win. After they did not win the Constitution They went from 0.4 of a cent to 15 cents. So over like 1,500% in less than a week. So if you had 3 ETH in there, you would have approximately 75 ETH.
Crazy.
Right? So that is fucking nuts for sure. Let's check out the other ones. I hope the other ones actually work. Because let's see here. See, I don't know. Meta Hero, Gitcoin is kind of cool. Let's see if this works. Hey, there we go. Now we're talking. But Gitcoin's doing well. It was kind of just a spike. Gitcoin is definitely a good project in the first place. Giving grants out. I like it. Maybe I bet you it was listed on Coinbase. That's probably why.
Mm.
But we will see. We will see what happens. Maybe give that a check out if you have time this week. And now let's jump into DeFi 2.0. I know you talked about it in a past newsletter, Ian. What is your like mindset on DeFi 2.0 as of this moment in time?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different ways that it's described, and I really like the idea that it's just kind of like a moment in time. Like, obviously the OG protocols, the DeFi 1.0 protocols wouldn't have been able to do it because they kind of offer the building blocks to create this new liquidity layer. And so I think kind of the characteristics of DeFi 2.0 is, protocol owned liquidity. And then there's also, they're kind of like faster movers than the base layer protocols because,
What do you mean by that? Faster movers.
so they ship code faster. They're doing riskier things. Like if you look at Compound and Aave and Ethereum, they all move slower. And I think that's because they have that like base layer level of security. And also they just have to make sure that they like double audit every line of their code because so many things are dependent on those,
Right. Foundational
protocols.
building blocks.
Yeah, but these guys are just really creative and moving quickly and kind of at the forefront of like
Right.
innovation. So it's
Well,
interesting to see the kind of the difference between them.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what builds off of this kind of stuff. So you say, yeah, Compound is moving a little slow, Ethereum is moving a little slow in terms of development, but that's directly due to how large the consequences are if something goes wrong, kind of deal. I believe, at least, along with some being content because they already made it in the space a little bit. So I definitely think there's a combination of this, and there's like the people building DeFi 2.0 are very ambitious and they're trying to make a name for themselves, or they're kind of just experimenting. So a couple example, we all know Olympus DAO, Tokmak, we discussed that in a previous edition, Abracadabra.money, Wonderland, Pendle, Premia. There's many, many, many other ones. And DeFi 2.0 is subjective as fuck, guys. It literally, you can people say, yeah, it's when the project owns their own liquidity. But I definitely believe DeFi 2.0 is simply just an application built off of the foundational DeFi applications, right? So,
Yeah.
DeFi 2.0 is kind of the second layer in my head. I mean, it's all subjective, guys. It's whatever you want to believe. But so a lot of other, that's what I believe, at least, although it really doesn't matter, to be honest. So whatever you think DeFi 2.0 is, it's just the next level of DeFi applications out there. Uh, I don't think if you want to know how Olympus works, boom, boom, boom. Basically, they generate revenue by selling bonds. Olympus Pro, bonding as a service. And that's basically renting out their liquidity. LP positions generate revenue, and then yield farming as well, which is kind of worked into the LP generates revenue just a little bit. But anything you want to add to that, specifically DeFi 2.0, Ian?
No, it's definitely a controversial term, but it's just kind of helpful for people to like visualize what's
Right.
new in DeFi. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah. What do you think are going to be some DeFi 3.0 applications?
Dude, that's so hard to think about because what we're building right now is a liquidity layer. So if crypto is able to engineer deep liquidity,
For
there's
any
going to be
asset?
insane, absolutely insane.
How would they do that?
You can build off of that.
How would they have
Well,
how would they have a liquidity for any asset? That would be freaking nuts.
I don't know.
What if what if
Rari, you can build a money market for any asset.
right? Yeah, I don't know. But if there's no demand or liquidity, I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, yeah, same.
But anyways, let's move on to Dope Wars. 40 million market cap. Paper had an airdrop. I received the airdrop, but I sold it at a loss. Well, kind of at a loss. It was up and then it was down, and I decided to sell it because I thought it was worthless, and now it's way up. I'm trying to keep all my airdrops for now. I'm just holding them.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, Ian, you want to explain the whole? Let's check out their website. Is this the website right here?
Let's see.
No.
No, so this is actually some background on drug wars, which I didn't even know about. But yeah, there's the website. So basically, this is an interesting project. It only has a $40 million market cap. But what I like about Dope Wars is that they're kind of this NFT project that's growing into they're creating their own metaverse and their own play to earn game. And I just like the way that the team has approached it. They have a DAO that is not just, a lot of people say that token holders will govern the DAO, but this is all on chain. There's no snapshot voting. It's truly a distributed governance system. And also, I really like to see the team doing things that progress the protocol near term. So they already have a few products out that are very simple, but just shows you that the team is active and they're continuing to engage the community.
I have a question for you if you have a
Yeah.
sec. So what was this loot stuff? This OpenSea loot stuff? This NFT loot stuff? Do you
Yeah, it's a loot. It's like a loot derivative, basically. So kind of the same way that loot works. It's that's kind of how Dope Wars works, but it's more of like a GTA spin, and kind of also based on Drug Wars, which is like a game that people would play on calculators in math class, which I wasn't aware of. But it's kind of think of loot, but think of a chain and just things that you would have in GTA.
Got it. So anyways, anything else you want to discuss about Dope Wars? Are you going to maybe play it, or what do you think? And have you tried it out?
I haven't actually tried it out yet, but it's something that came on my radar this week. I'm thinking about getting into it.
Well, are you going to initiate?
I think it can grow a lot more.
Are you going to initiate a hustler, man?
Yeah, man. You gotta buy an NFT, and then you can do that, and you can basically choose which characteristics you want to have.
So if you have loot or the Dope Wars loot, you can initiate a hustler.
Yeah, and you can download multiple NFTs and choose which characteristics you want to have.
Wait a second, I might still have my Dope Wars loot.
Oh, this would be cool.
Well, live network, because I don't know if I sold it. I gotta switch networks too. Let's see here, boys.
Done.
Initiation. I might have it, dude.
Hey, there we go.
Initiate. How do we do this? Ooh. Generating. Check it out, dude. There's my.
Your hustler?
I think so, bro.
No bundled dope in wallet.
Dude, no way, dude. I might have sold it actually. Shit. Damn. But that's okay. That's okay. It is what it is now. But
it's all right. New profile picture right there.
Yeah, right here. It's
if you own it.
That's true. All right, let's move on to biggest losers. Saki, let's see, Harmony, Cardano down 15%. Cardano took off. They were taking off eToro this week. Security kind of drama. People think they're going to be registered as a security, which kind of is. A concern for all the 2018 ICOs out there. And then Spell Token, not looking too hot. I like Spell a lot. I like Daniel, but it's up 28%, back up 20% today. But it's down significantly over the last week. Dang, that stinks. Dang. But anyways, let's move on to where is the market going? Ian, what do you think, bro? You wrote a little
Yeah. Wrote a little bit about my thoughts. So this chart right here, this is the total market cap of all DeFi applications, and you can see like the correction that we have right now. I mean, I can see people being concerned about it going lower, but in reality, it's not that deep of a correction.
Well, one thing I want to point out is this trend line right here. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. That's a trend line right there. So as long as we
Yeah.
bounce off, which it probably looks like we did this morning, I mean, we're good to go. Make an all-time high up here, come back. There you go. We're good to
That'd
go.
be really bullish, right? If we bounce back, because it just higher lows, higher lows, higher lows.
Right. But we will see what else.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because the crypto markets are super short term. So you go on crypto Twitter and there's so much flying around about the recent correction. So you have like crypto, the idea that anyone will chase this move is a poor person's pipe dream. Everyone's too rich, too exhausted from a 2-year bull market, or too scared to jeopardize carry/bonuses into end of year to be aggressive. What do you think about that?
So is this saying so he's bearish?
Yeah, he's bearish.
So he's just saying, I mean, I don't know. I'm just here. I don't know, bro. I told you what I thought earlier in this video about if it consolidates, we're probably going to enter a lengthening cycle. If it goes test all time highs, we might still have a chance to go parabolic at the year end. And if we continue to break down, we could be entering. But I'm prepared no matter what. I got a large stable coin position. I mean, I kind of agree with him to an extent because and the new year's coming about, and I personally, January 1st comes about, I might take some capital gains. I might just take some long-term capital gains off the table. Why? Because it doesn't get taxed until the following year, and I can earn APY on it throughout the year, and maybe that will help me adjust for the long-term capital gain. So I kind of could see that happening as well.
I think a lot of people probably think that way too. And there's some people that were very bullish. LOL, who is selling right now? Y'all are clinically insane. I really don't care what anyone says. And he wasn't the only one. I heard tons of sentiment like that. Danielle, love this guy. Bears are so fucked this time. That was this morning after we bounced back a little bit.
Right.
And I'm kind of the same mindset. I really have no idea where the market's going. It's super hard to accurately predict and time the market. Somebody might be able to do it successfully once, but they can't do it consistently. If they could, they would be millionaire many times over. So we never spend too much time thinking about where the overall market's headed. I just make sure, like you, I kind of like rotate in and out of risky assets if it's like pretty obvious, but I try to be comfortable with projects that I know are going to be fundamentally strong for like 10 years. I have a nice stable coin position where I can earn yield on, and I feel comfortable, wherever the market's headed. I'm more focused over the long term. And I love this tweet from Naval because it just kind of talks about a good strategy when you're dealing with assets that have exponential growth. So when building a portfolio of investments that can have non-linear outcomes, never sell early. You may be right most of the time, but the one time you're wrong will cost you most of the returns.
Boom. I love it.
So
Boom.
true.
I mean, selling it, I could have, like, if I decided to sell stuff, a couple mistakes. Dope War sold early. I mean, Rari Capital sold early. I mean, I've sold a lot of things early. Ethereum, I sold a bunch at 1,000, which I obviously should not have done. I mean, selling stuff early when it's asymmetric risk to return. I mean, it is what it is. Do what you want, but also if you believe in something, have conviction and hold tight. Hold tight. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you're right, congratulations, you're right. So have conviction. Anything you got to say on that, Ian? My little motivation at the end of the day.
I like that. I like that a lot, and I think that was a good cap. Do we have anything else?
Yes, sir. We do. We have some reaction, dudes. Come on, we always got a reaction. So we got this lady, Christine Lagarde. Who is she? Let's look her up. Oops. First, I want to show you this. Oops. And that is, I've never been more bullish. And we'd be snorting those green candles all day. I get it. But anyways, Christine, I think she's something with the International Monetary Fund. Christine Lagarde. Or the Minister of is a French politician. You gotta love those French politicians.
President of the ECB.
What's that? European something bank?
Central Bank, yeah.
Minister of the.
He was the managing director of the IMF, of the International Monetary Fund.
I got it. Look at her, dude. She probably was a smoke show back in the day.
You're not wrong.
But anyways, and she's a finance bro. But anyways, let's listen to her, what she has to say. She might just say something I don't like.
Years, governments and central banks have issued currency, and currency is used for things to buy things, sell things, and so forth, and to price assets. Now, some people have come along and invented various things called cryptocurrency.
Did you just hear what he said?
What's that?
And central banks have issued currency. And
so central banks have issued currency.
And currency is used for things to buy things, sell things, and so forth. And
so currencies are used to buy things and sell things.
Price assets.
And to price assets. He's a fucking genius.
Now, people have come along and invented various things called cryptocurrencies. Central banks are trying to adjust to what that means for them. So do you think that cryptocurrencies are a plus for the global economy, or is it too early to tell?
Cryptos are not currencies, full stop. Cryptos are highly speculative assets that claim their fame as currency, possibly, but then...
All right, we're looking something up. What the fuck happened in 1971? Talk about an experiment. It's called the fiat currency, boys. 1971 is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's so interesting, the psychology of like maxis in anything, because there are even Bitcoin maxis that don't believe in any altcoins or anything, and
right. And she is a U.S. dollar or a reserve currency maxi.
They are not. I think we have to distinguish between cryptos that are those highly speculative, suspicious occasionally, and high intensity in terms of energy consumption assets, but they're not a currency. On the other hand, you have those stable coins that are beginning to proliferate, which some big techs are trying to promote and push along the way, which are a different animal and need to be regulated, where there has to be oversight that corresponds to the business that they are actually conducting, irrespective of how they name themselves. And in all that, you have the central banks, who are prompted by demand of customers to produce something that will make the central bank and central bank currencies fit for the century we're in.
So, do you think the customers do you think they're forced customers, or do you think they're just natural customers that pick the U.S. dollar or the euro out of desire rather than what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, no, I mean,
what's the word I'm looking for, Ian? Any like I don't know. I don't know. But
all
right, we'll figure it out.
No, I mean, it's definitely the first one. Like
coercion. That's the word I was looking for.
Coercion. I wouldn't have got
coercion. Do you know that word?
Coercion.
Coercion.
Yeah, like being forced, basically.
Hey, there we go. Now we're
right.
talking.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just so crazy. Like when you read the Bitcoin standard, I feel like it becomes so clear that fiat is just like not a good system, right? Like anything where you can like keep increasing the supply, and it's centralized, it's doomed to fail, and it has always failed in the past. The only really thing that has worked is gold, and that's because nobody can control the supply of gold.
The inflation
Gold
rate.
is just there. You can discover it, but you can't make more of it whenever you want.
Alchemy is not real. Right.
No.
But yeah, so I totally agree with you. But the US dollar is a shit token. Let's finish this video off strong. Let's listen in.
Which is why we're now all looking at CBDC, central bank digital currencies, so that instead of having banknotes and cash in our pockets or in our wallet, we can have exactly the same thing, but in a digital form. So all of us are working on this, and certainly I was keen to push the CBDC issue on our agenda, because I believe that we have to stand ready for that.
CBDCs. I don't know if they stand a chance, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to something like Olympus DAO is going to become successful, and it's just going to completely sever the link to the US dollar.
100% agree.
That's why I see it going.
Well, anyways, I believe that is all. I will be sending out another little thing, safest Degen play. I'm going to write that here and up in a second. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And that is all for today. Anything to add for today? ID crypto.
Awesome. That's awesome. I will just say, you guys, if you haven't signed up for the private Discord, you're going to want to do so, because me, Dingooo, and the rest of the team, we're just going to be putting a lot of effort and time into making the Discord really place that you want to be, where you're going to be able to catch a lot of alpha in real time.
Right.
And it's going to be extremely valuable. We're going to be dropping in there quite a bit as well. So if you haven't joined, definitely make sure you join the private Discord.
Valuable resources, spreadsheets, et cetera. But yeah, we're going to be building upon that greatly, and the instructions of how to join are right at the top of the newsletter. But that is all for today. I appreciate you and every single one of you that decided to subscribe. It means the world, and we will see you next week. Peace out, and dingle dingle. Peace out.